okay with that. Yeah. We got it. We got it. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to East County Voices. We're your hosts and hostesses. We got, go ahead, introduce yourselves.
What's up? It's me, Patty. We have Miss Nicole. We have Miss Catherine Wade. Thank you for blessing us with your presence.
I do have clothes on.
It's hot out here.
Yeah, me too.
So, today should be wholesome. Miss Nicole is going to help out with going down our little agenda. We definitely want to check in with you, Miss Catherine. It's been a minute. We want to know how you're doing. I know there's an anniversary coming up. We want to raise up your son's birthday coming up, Alon Baldwin. And we just want to recap what's going on in our little community. I just remembered one more thing that I'm going to add to our list. Okay. All right. Well, let's get started. You all know us, community advocates, warriors in the community. Last week there was a poetry night. That was what day was that? Friday. I saw Carlos, Miss Nicole. Were you there that evening too? Yeah.
I was there.
Yes. Gavin. We had, of course, Jose. It was beautiful.
Gavin. Mary.
Someone came out all the way from Oakland.
Jabari. You have to talk about his upcoming play, Illegally Brown.
Tell us about it, T. I forgot about that one. Tell us. It's a play. It's a play, y'all. It's gonna be the 12th, the 13th, and the 20th. So check out Grassroots on Instagram or Don Jose Cordon Concepts, and you can get some updates. But they're hella funny. Like their skits, if you need a good laugh, laughing is just good for the soul. Period. It's right. Good for the heart. That's why I love our community. Y'all like make me whole, and there's always something. But yeah, this is one of those spaces because they do address deep systemic themes, and so, but at the same time, you know, it really sheds light. You plan on going, Miss Nicole?
Yes, definitely.
How about you, Miss Catherine? How's your schedule for the 12th, the 13th, or the 20th? And it's free. It's a free event, everyone.
Where at?
It's at the community center in downtown Antioch.
Yeah, I'll try to go. If I could get, I'll try to go.
Somebody will get you.
Okay. And I don't remember if it's 2 shows on both on all the days, or because it's like a 2:00 show, I think, and a 7:00 show. But I can't remember. I need.
You're right.
Can't remember.
No, you're right. I remember. You're right. You are completely right. It's the last day. That's the 20th that they have a show in the afternoon and then one in the evening.
Okay.
Yep. So check that out. Get a good laugh. ¿Qué más? We passed new just cause for eviction. Miss Catherine Wade here. She went through it with the rent, and I remember Miss Leslie as well. Many people in our community were affected with different renters situations, but now we have passed the final little ice cream, the little cherry on top, which families cannot get evicted just because And the other ones were, there was the rent cap in the city of Antioch where they couldn't go up more than, I believe it was a 3% something, and then anti-harassment, but families are still getting harassed. Families still haven't gotten their deposits. And then now we have the just cause for eviction, and I wish they could have made it retroactive.
Yeah.
We'll never know how many families got moved out of Antioch because of owner move-in or super high rent increase. Like, but at least now we have it.
Yeah.
We have it. Yeah.
How do we get there? How do we get there, Miss Nicole, Miss Catherine?
How did we get
Let the
to
community know.
Because all these beautiful, wonderful activists out here who care about the community have been fighting and fighting for 4 years to get these three, the rent control, anti-harassment, and just cause. So now it's a complete package to have everybody completely covered in every way. So
Yeah.
it's a huge win. It's a huge win for the city.
It
What else?
is. It's a great win. I can remember renting from one landlord, and where the house burned up at,
Mm.
he wouldn't fix anything. So that week when it flooded from the top level to the bottom, he came and stopped the flood pipes in the wall and was supposed to come back and fix the electricity. And so we had to run extension cords from our rooms to the plugs that work, because a lot of them didn't work no more, and the ceiling was all broken in from the water leakage to pipes. So then I went from that. He didn't want to give me my money back. I went over there when the owner of the house came, because it was through a leasing agent, and the owner ran over to the car and told me and my sister that for me to leave. Please don't be here when the insurance people get here, and I'll give you your deposit back. But all of that stuff in there for personal damage was my stuff. And you caused the fire. So you choose your battles. I didn't do anything to seek any legal stuff. So then the other house I moved in, the lady had me paying the water to her. I was giving her $150 a month, and I would text her, how much is water? Just put the same thing, put the same thing. I would give her that. So the house was deemed carbon monoxide poisoning in it, so I had to move. She didn't want to give me my deposit back. So I ended up writing her a letter saying, hey, I paid you over $2,000 some for water. And because I went to the water company, they couldn't tell me what the bill was, but they say your bill was always less than $60.
Wow.
And so she didn't give me my money. So, I was fighting a case with Malad. So I didn't do anything. So the other house I lived in, I would have to call the police, for medical calls for my son. And she would come over there. And so she told me about 2 months before my lease was up, oh, when your lease is up, I want you to move because you've had a lot of police, coming over here. But it was specifically that my son was sick. She didn't want to give me my deposit back neither. And I fought her and told her some things that I had to put up with in that house. Because, like when you rent these houses, a lot of things that's going on in those houses, you don't want to be homeless. So you deal with it. So she ended up giving me my deposit back. But, being a renter out, and even when I first moved out here, they was having a lot of issues talking about low income, Richmond, Oakland, San Francisco people moving here. They were harassing the Section 8 people. They had a meeting at the Rodriguez Center, about the people moving out here. And I basically said, you people have the opportunity to move into these communities. You should be able to talk to them and teach them how to use this, how to use that, and what your requirements are. Everybody want to live somewhere to live. So of course they're going to sign that lease, but that's up to you, the landlord, to take care of your business, have an understanding with your tenant that they know how to take care of your property. So here we are today with these real estate agent or police from Oakland that have been busted with weed houses out here. That crime was just a misdemeanor. So how are these people able to do what they're doing in their property because their owners and tenants that live here are being harassed and or evicted, or not owners not taking care of this property? And why is so different?
Yes, back note. Look, y'all, there was a police officer out of Oakland, owned a home in the city of Antioch, and he got busted. This is a fact. We have an officer out of Oakland with a house out here, and like Miss Catherine said, got a misdemeanor. See, at that point, they need to decriminalize all marijuana. If they want to sell it, you know what? Give them a mobile permit. Let them do it if at your own risk. If it doesn't meet whatever CDC, whatever. Like that's it.
They'll evict you from your property if you have weed, you know, if you're being called on something or whatever. But then these property owners, the houses were on the same block, 3 homes. And those people should have lost their property, and the money should have went to the city of Antioch. Had that been UI, it would have happened. That's why a lot of people lost their properties during the time, you know, with the drug. They said weed was illegal, and people putting their property up for their children and for bail and all collateral. Those people should have lost their homes in the city of Antioch with all these ordinances and stuff they have dealing with normal citizens when the police are called.
Yes.
And Miss Catherine again is correct about the harassment, the terror that was inflicted by the police. There were several federal lawsuits for them hunting the neighborhoods, the apartments that were Section 8 families. There was, it was the POP task force or something. And I've heard the families where the children were present. The officers would go in with a big bang, like just explosives to make noise, to scare them, and then would tear up their home. That happened in the city of Antioch. It's crazy, but not enough people know still, because somehow these fools are still on the force or getting paid or retired. And then they expect communities to just, okay, we're going to put police here and violence is going to end. The violence that's happening is because of all of the trauma and terror inflicted in our communities and limited resources, limited jobs, limited transportation, and then getting criminalized intentionally, because that's the game that it's been for a long time, because it's profitable to have people in the prison system. But the jig is up, and at some point, you know, that'll no longer be the case, because we got to let everyone free, because it's the modern day form of slavery in the prison system. So many folks, many families have been broken and don't belong there. There was 2 human beings that were executed recently without any formal DNA. Like, imagine they did some shit like that in Antioch, execute somebody without DNA. What would we do?
They've been doing that a long time. And that's what Ron Brunell and all his followers and the Contra Costa Net people want to take it back. Because, you know, Antioch was so great. You know, according to them, it was so great. And I'm like, it's crazy that it was great when it was a sundown town. So basically they're saying exactly what it is, that they're all racist, and they want it to go back to the racist times where there were no minorities, there were nobody but them, and if anybody else came there, they can hang them or the police can kill them with, you know, no repercussions. That's what they want to take it back
to. Well, what about,
we ain't going back? We not going back.
Right.
I got grandchildren and children, but my grandchildren, they would not never live in the era that I had to live in.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They would never be able to do that. And then it's insulting for Donald Trump to get on there and talk about the immigrants taking the black people job, the African American job. I'm not going back in no fields. I worked in the fields in Mississippi. I'm not going back in no fields. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, ain't nobody gonna go in those fields. And if the immigrants are over here doing what they're doing so we can eat as American citizens, we should be applauding them.
Exactly.
It's no competition about jobs here in America.
No,
but applaud the people that's out there in that sun, in that heat, sitting on that ground, digging up that dirt, pulling up food for us to have food to eat every day.
Exactly.
So that should be enough insult for all of us black and brown people to say, this man won't be my president.
Well, we're not.
You want to talk all this mess to cause a problem between different cultures of people. And that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We're not going back to that old time stuff.
He's just trying to get out of going to prison. That's all it's about. He'll do whatever he can, like his stunts with supposedly being assassinated and whatnot. No one's trying to kill that man. The man is a con. He has always been a con. I don't understand why anybody think anything is any different at this point. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. White people, he don't care about you either. Like, I don't understand all these people. It's like a terrible cult that you just can't wake them up. You know, they've all drinking the Jim Jones sedation juice, and you can't get them off of it. Like, they cannot even comprehend or have any type of reasoning at all to understand that nothing's okay about this man. The whole predator, you know, assaulted children, just everything. The man wants to sleep with his daughter, and somehow you guys think that this is someone you want to back for anything. It's sad, and it shows the
and good talking about being a dictator for 1 year, a dictator for 1 day, a dictator. Who says anything like that?
Yeah.
I know who. The people in the city of Antioch, the crazy clan folk, they say it about Lamar. They say that he's a dictator.
And absolutely not. It's so crazy, right? Like, no, your leader that you want to follow is the one that's he wants to literally be the king.
They're projecting what it really is.
It's sad that people think that way. It really is. Because we could really be doing a lot, and we could really just have an awesome place, but
we will. We're getting there. We got a new city manager.
Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful African American woman from she came out from up north, from Oregon, from Portland. And so her qualifications, she's overqualified to be here. Shit, if she wants to go to another, she could go probably anywhere. With her amazing like work record and ethics. So, and she addressed what the crazies were saying when they try to come after her about some like old Facebook posts, which she was right about it. What
she was talking about systemic racism. How does that make you racist? It's crazy that like racist people want to always call somebody else racist. Talking about racism doesn't make you racist. And again, we're not oppressing anyone. We didn't go steal some people and make them slaves and then try to kill them off once they weren't slaves and still trying to kill them off. So, yeah.
It's sad. It's so sad. My a good friend from Florida, he had we've always known about redlining to make property values, to make certain things accessible, not accessible. They do the same shit for the prisons. That's what I heard. So they're out there in the middle of nowhere, unincorporated, making hella money per person that they have incarcerated, yet those people can't vote, have no rights over there working free. So we're going to change that. It's going to take a minute, but we need. It's so sad.
Well, that's what the program at the Ella Baker Human Rights Center in Oakland are doing. They have a program that's working to change those laws with the criminal justice system and the voting system for them. Yeah. At the Ella Baker Human Rights Center in Oakland.
Okay.
Oh, before we forget, I have to shout out our guys at Georgia Pacific because there are actually going to be some negotiation talks tomorrow. So we want the community to know, right, that they're going with their demands. Again, not asking for anything out of the ordinary or crazy, and they deserve everything plus more. So I want to implore everyone to pray that they get the PPEs and everything they need. They get the proper pay, because the lie that put out that they make 90,000+ a year is absolute and complete ludicrous lie. Even people who work all the overtime they work, they don't make that. And regardless, being that they can get cancer and die at any moment, they should be making 90,000+ as their base salary, but they don't. So the little bit of change they're asking for, they absolutely deserve that plus more. And I think that they found out just how serious these guys are when they weren't able to get their ship into port to dump off the stuff they needed. So I love it so much. I love it. It was the best thing ever in the world. Yeah, turn that ship around because you're not going to come over here.
That's right.
It was so great. Power of the people. I love it. I love
Power
it.
to the people.
So yes, finally they want to talk to them. So yeah, they better talk about some real money. Give them some money so these men can get back to work and run the plant properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for folks out there, this job, yeah, it's a lot of it's labor intensive.
Yeah.
The environment isn't so cozy. They're hardworking families. They have children. It's affecting their family life. And an
Yes.
example, they would have a schedule of 4 days on, 3 days off. And then their days off comes around and they're like, hey, you need to come in. Don't come in. Oh, you're about to get written up.
Yep.
And then the wives be like, I thought it was your day off.
Exactly.
And so really messing with the families.
It is.
It's messing with family life. No. Mm-mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah. It is. It really it's so bad that just even the health wise, like the glass sticks on them, but you can't wipe the glass off because it gets embedded in your skin. So they literally have to take like duct tape to pull it off their skin. They're coughing up black stuff, blowing out black stuff. Like the environment that they're in, animals and pigeons and all kinds of things in there, and dead things, feces, all these things that they have to deal with on a daily basis. It's disgustingly dirty. It's extremely hot, like right now, especially. So it's over 100 degrees out here every day. So it's like 140, 150 in there. They're all geared up and working in that. Yeah. So it's not an easy thing. And anyone who has a home with walls, these men are the ones who build what's inside of your walls. So no one would have a structure without the materials that they provide. In there have been sending out their stuff that they created, but they're not loading it properly. So they're breaking up all the boards and they're not even sending out good product that the men already did because they've not produced anything because they don't know how to. So, yeah.
Stay strong, because it's hella hot out there. I mean,
Very
but like you
hot.
said, they're used to those conditions, but they
Yeah.
shouldn't be. Nobody should be working and be
No.
used to those kinds of conditions. And then when they knew there was going to be a strike coming, they hired folks coming from all the way across the nation, flew
Texas,
them in,
Vegas,
paid for their housing, got them, like, took care of them, all
and
that.
pay them more. And they pay them more. They pay them more than what they pay the men. Now, mind you, there's fathers and sons who work together at this plant. So they're not getting paid at all. There's not like there's a second income because they both work there. And it's not just one group of one family like that. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And it's real tough on their families. They don't get to see their children. They don't get to see their wives. There's causing issues with the wives because the wives think they're lying. They can't go on vacation. Even if they have vacation scheduled off, they will make them come to work. So majority of the time, they're working 16-hour days. They're not supposed to. They're supposed to be doing 12, but they're working 16 hours and more all the time.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's terrible. The conditions are terrible. And the Koch brothers are billionaires. They have more than enough money. But, you know, personally, I think it's because it's majority brown men.
I did see that. And immigrants.
That they don't care about them because they're Trump supporters. And that's what I personally feel is that they just don't care about them because it's so many brown people in there that they're like, whatever. Even though they run it efficiently, they run that plant so efficiently. They love each other. They're a brotherhood. They all work together. This is what an employer should want is for all these men. There's all these men and they all get along. All like each other. It's all family. It's all love. What could you want better than that? Right? And you don't want to pay them? Yeah, not on our watch.
Which is a good little transition into a guaranteed income.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
We're going for the county, Miss Catherine. Your grandbabies, your daughters, your family deserves an extra check a month.
Yeah.
What county? What money?
So look, there's guaranteed income pilots that have happened. They've been going on across the nation. Concord had one, and on Sunday they're going to have a celebration. Momentos Monument Impact did the first. City of Concord, they partnered and they guaranteed that families, I believe it was 100 or 120, maybe, I don't recall, but or 50 families, they got an extra check a month that was unrestricted. They could spend it wherever they wanted for over a year. What did that do? Well, we're going to learn on Sunday, but really it's financial independence. Then Santa Clara had one. I believe Antioch had one. So we want to go for the county now, because the county has the money. They can just make it a policy now, because these little pilot programs have been happening. It's working. But the only thing that I say is that they should make it accessible to everyone, like these hardworking guys that are on strike.
Exactly.
Some of them, I heard one of them has two children that are autistic. And so the mother has to be there. And so.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Frank. We're talking about the strikers right now. We're talking about guaranteed income, that there's an opportunity that the Board of Supervisors can potentially release some funding to continue uplifting families. And unfortunately, yeah, it can't be every single family, but we can get there.
Yeah.
We can get there. I get guaranteed income because of my little military disability check. You know, and I can do this. I have time to advocate, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
Any of us that are on that little fixed income, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, Frank.
I'll say something.
Yeah.
As part of a Native American tribe that is involved with gaming, I have also had assistance from my tribe. And it started, I would say, about in 2007 or 8 with grocery cards. I get health care through my tribe. I wouldn't say it's the best insurance, because when something happens, like a lot of people, I mean, you have to spend, it feels like. So I'm not like 100% covered or anything, but I get to get 1 pair of glasses a year. I get 2 dental cleanings a year, and $1,200 in additional dental care. And I get a little bit of cash income as well, but the way it started was with grocery cards. So I would get, if people remember the Food Co. in Antioch, I used to get a $300 Food Co. card and a $400 Costco card. So the tribe, the Rincon Band of Liseño Indians, which is our colonizer name, and we call ourselves something, I'm learning my language, so it's something like Payam Cowichum, which means people of the West. They are helping to take care of us, and they've expanded out from just gambling to a gas station near the reservation, a fire station, because we live down south is where my people are from. I'm here in Antioch with you all, but my tribe is down south where my dad's people come from. So they're in a lot of those big fires that happen down south. And so that's a form of guaranteed income for now. But another thing is that mine can be taken away with any changes in the gaming laws, or if the tribe's not doing well, like I'm riding with the wellness of the tribe. So during the pandemic, the income for the tribe went down. The casinos closed. Not a lot of people were driving for our gas station. So it was a struggle for us as well. But anyways, I wanted to throw that out there, that I am also getting benefits from my tribe. And I can tell you the benefits of having that is that I have worked not always full time, but as you all know, I'm out there trying to record community events. I'm out there with the strikers that you were just talking about. And I'm dedicating my time, as Alice Walker, the famous poet, said, which is my rent payment to the community.
Yeah.
So I'm doing my community work for being on this earth. I'm taking what I'm able to do and giving back to my community. So I feel like I took up a lot of time there, but I wanted to add that because I feel like when you have stability in your life, you're able to give back and participate for the betterment of your community, whether that's art, whether that's music and song, whether that's media covering issues like I try to do, whether that's just being there for your grandkids and your other family members. I feel like the the lightening of the burden of daily survival gives you the opportunity to give back to your community in a positive way. And I'll leave it at that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And then to add, I mean, it's not guaranteed income and reparations is completely different. What happened in California, I hope that it comes back harder, like to give all of the different forms.
That's right. It is.
And then they end up raising rents anyways and treating just too much mistreatment for tenants because of their source of income. Right. There was a woman that with rat and mice infestation in the area, and the management had the nerve to tell her, oh, well, where did you bring the rats from? And she documented it and she reported it. I haven't heard it yet, but that's the kind of management that these landlords have overseeing tenants in low income communities. It's disgusting. And you know, just the housing, there's a lot in housing reform. In Antioch, you know, we're in the little corner of Contra Costa. Imagine if those reforms went for the county with those protections. What if the county made reparations? What if we're going, because there's a, if, and then Miss Catherine Wade, generationally, since the day she was born, and her family and everything she's experienced to this day. But there will be justice for Miss Catherine. We're going to keep praying on it. And next week, October 9th, will be Milad's heavenly birthday. Miss Catherine, you know, whatever you want to do, if you want to be around in community, whatever you want, you know, we'll be there for you. We can have a small ceremony, small prayer for you. Just let us know. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I've talked to APTP, Anti-Police Terror Project, called me. Ella Baker Center called me because a lot of times they sponsor stuff, you know, for Milad stuff. And last year he was his birthday was on Indigenous Day, and they got the Aztec dancers at the park and African drummer, and yeah, we did the little ritual for him. And you know, I was telling this year I'm just tired. You know, I've been protesting and fighting for over 10 years, you know, trying to raise awareness of what was going on here in this community and what was going on, what they were doing to my son and I and my family. And just, you know, I had a dream about my baby last night and I was screaming, and I woke up and I just screaming. Woke up a dream that I was at his funeral again. So, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot when you're dealing with this police department and these police is hot. You know, I was with the Love Not Blood campaign organization this weekend. It was from Oscar Grant. I was with families from all over the United States and Brazil whose families were brutalized and murdered by the police. So I was with Sonia Massey family, Macy family. I was with Medgar Evers, Emmett Till, Stephon Clark. I was with so many people that I just met. And this guy, Dewan Dallas, is from Alabama, and Ben Crump, Burris, and two more other lawyers. They're all on that case, and they called him the Dream Team. It's on YouTube too. His name was Jawan, Jawan Dallas, Dallas. So I sat with his mom for a long time. Families from Seattle, Washington, and Mississippi. A 15-year-old shot in the back. It's just like, it was crazy because all these people, and then when you hear their stories about couldn't see their child, you know, the relationship with the coroner, the police coming telling them different lies about what happened to their child in the beginning, and you know, even new discovery that I found out about Milad. I mean, you guys wouldn't even believe it. And it's like, the narrative that they put out there is just malicious. It's malicious, and
Mhm.
I'm tired. My health has started deteriorating as I started finding out more stuff. And then my son passed away. He was drinking after Malad died. He died as residuals of losing his brother.
Mhm.
And just
Yeah, the PTSD isn't just for veterans. It's going to be affecting all the families.
Right.
it's just horrible how
Yeah.
these polices. Hey, I'm on the phone. They've been doing what they've been doing. And then to hear Donald Trump talking about he's gonna, give these officers immunity. He's gonna free the
Federal
people who did
immunity.
the incitement at the Washington D.C. And it's like these people do things, but had that been us, we'd be in jail. And I met
Dead.
a guy named
Dead.
Tyrone Hood. His name is Tyrone Hood. He's from Chicago. He's on YouTube and Google. He was in prison for 20 some years for something he didn't do, and they paid him $25 million. I was with him. He just walked up to me and started talking to me at the hotel I was in. And he was just telling me, and I was like, God, this stuff is really real. People really have suffered from this criminal
Yeah.
justice system.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
It's a real thing. That reminds me. Hello there, Bradley, and Miss Torres. She was telling you, thank you for your leadership, Miss Catherine, because you really inspired me. You and Frank, y'all been leading this for hella long, and I saw the videos where y'all were the only ones in there saying, hey, like, what's that? Like, what are we doing with this? What are we doing? And it just fell on deaf ears, and you still kept going through all the battles and things that life has thrown your way and your family's way. But we're here for you. We're gonna keep being here for each other in our little corner of Contra Costa County. And I saw the police, the K9 unit yesterday. I was driving, and why do you have a back the blue flag? And my battery was gonna die, so I couldn't capture it. But I let one of the officers today know, like, WTF? Why is there a Blue Lives flag on the police vehicle? It's very gang-like, and the way they functioned out here, terrorizing people, continuing to do their little campaign smears and shit. It's done. So anyways, he said that that's not authorized. So thank you, Antioch Police Department, for making it not authorized to use any other flag other than the U.S. flag, a subdued one. But so that was cool that he's gonna have a talk with them. But they on their Instagram they put a picture of a man getting arrested. It's an African American man getting arrested. He's got the handcuffs behind his back, and then the officers over there. But it made me feel it disgusted me because it reminded me of all the disgusting things they did say about the bodies, and that you could see the bruises better if it was like a brown body versus a black body. Like they were celebrating hurting human beings. So when I saw that picture on Instagram, I went on and said, do y'all enjoy posting pics of arresting people? There's something sick about it, because it reminds me of how your organization would take pictures of the bruises on people's bodies and celebrate. Your whole organization is still a disgrace. And I still feel like that, because they haven't done anything really substantial that says, hey, we're really cleaning up this department. And the only way they could do that, in my opinion, is if they rebrand, remove their little badge, a little sheriff symbol, gone. No, y'all can be community resource officers. Have some different departments specialized in different things. Start there. But that's just me thinking that way. But anyways.
And I'll say on a positive note today at the excuse me, at the swearing in or the signing ceremony for Bessie, I'm blanking on her last name.
Smith.
Scott.
It's
Is it
sorry.
Scott?
I thought it was Smith.
Bessie M. something, our new city manager. I saw the police chief walking by, and I said that, hey, Mr. Addison, some of us are concerned about the change that could be in the winds. and
Scott,
that if
thank you.
other people are elected to run the city, what do you think about the Angelo Quinto Community Response Team? And he said, I would have to support that. He said that he thinks that it's made a big difference in the department. It's relieved pressure on the department, and he supports the Angelo Quinto Community Response Team 100%. I'm sure V Hill does too. I didn't talk to him today, but I've heard him in the past, and I've really heard nothing but positive praise from law enforcement officials in our community about the Angelo Quinto Community Response Team. And I'm saying the full name today because I spoke to Cassandra Quinto today, and she said, sharing personal information here, that it is a little bit offensive to them when they just call it the care team.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that this came for Angelo, for what his sacrifice was to our community and what their work was, what they did. So I will try to always call it by its name. I'll urge you all to do the same.
Angelo Quinto Crisis
I agree.
Response.
Yeah. So the chief supports that, and he says, regardless of the change in the winds, if it's Bernal or whoever wins the election, Hernandez Thorpe, Bernal, or the Christian, that he will always support the community response team at this time, that they've made a tremendous difference to the department, and that it relieves a lot of pressure off of them. So just throwing out a little bit of good news today.
That's good to hear. I love that.
Frank, did she tell you about is it October the 11th or something? It's an event at the courthouse in Martinez.
Yes. I'll throw it out there. I'll double check if anybody wants to double check, or I can. I think it's 9:00 in Martinez. The Quinto family is going to have one of their last chances to change the cause of death on Angelo's certificate of death, which still contains the words excited delirium, which have been banned from use now in California at all related to law enforcement. And we're hoping that the judge will see that this is a retroactive moment, that this young man, our community member, and one of our beloved now family members, the Quinto Collins family's son, lost his life. So we can be aware that excited delirium is not a real medical condition. It was something that was created by law enforcement to cover up their tracks. It is now no longer allowed to be used as a manner of death in California, and it will spread across the country shortly. And we are asking, and I know the family is asking, that in honor of Angelo and his sacrifice, what happened to him, this law changing in California, that the manner of his death should also be changed.
Absolutely.
And that will open up and allow for the family to pursue charges against law enforcement. Depending, I'm not a legal expert, but depending on what the judge would rule, they only get 3 choices: suicide, accidental, or at the hands of another.
At the hands of another.
In the past, they have ruled at the hands of another, going back to Wendell Celestine in 2016, choked to death by Antioch police on a back street in downtown Antioch. They ruled it at the hands of another, but accidental. So we'll see what happens. I'm not being a legal expert. That may open the door for legal prosecution, either for manslaughter or some sort of murder charge. Again, not being a legal expert, I don't know. But I do know that the family will be out there and they'll be bringing more information ASAP. But it's next Friday on the in the court in Martinez, probably at 8:30 or 9, and they're going to have a press conference, most likely after the determination by the judge. But they would also like community support to be out there. If you want to get out there early in the morning, I think court starts at like 8 or 8:30. We haven't organized to make plans, but I think most of us found out in the last couple days. So I would throw it out now live on the Carlos Taco Show that
East
maybe
County
we should
Voices.
East County,
East County Voices. Now East County Voices, once known as Twitter, now known as X. Joking. I'm joking. But we should probably try to rally up around 8 o'clock in
Hell
Martinez.
yeah. Hell yeah.
And we should be out there for this family, our beloved family, the Quinto Collins family, that has made tremendous change for us. Me and Queenie, that have been walking these streets from back in the early days when it was me, Queenie, Tamisha, my kid, and like one of his friends out there at the park on Sycamore when the cops rolled up and said, "Hey, are you Frank Sterling?" And I was like, maybe, you know what I mean? Because we had been organizing from the earliest as possible. And I think now that this family has came and made such tremendous change, building on, you know, our loneliness, I would say, being out there by ourselves and then growing through these tremendous tragedies that happened, not only in our community, but we know George Floyd, which kicked off nationwide protests. Our tragedies are like melded into one. But the Quinto Collins family made this tremendous change for us as a community, for a state, and it will be eventually across this nation. So we should come out and support if we can next Friday, the 11th. I'm just going to say now, at least 8 o'clock a.m. out there to say and hold up your sign and just be present as strength for this family.
Yeah.
I'll pause there.
Hell yeah. Well, you brought up Sycamore, and there is a big community ceasefire event that our leader here, Miss Tamisha Torres Walker, she's leading that with Genesis Church and Pastor Owens. So we're talking pastors, leaders, advocates, community members. We're all accountable to everything that's going on in our communities. And we cannot let a community that's been forgotten and set aside for decades to go through this alone, because violence permeates in many communities. And it's for a number of things, but we can together just put our heads together, learn something, attend this ceasefire.
It's tomorrow, right?
It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
I got the flyer.
I
Let's
think
put it up
6:30. I think 6:30. Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
End the violence. That's what it comes down to. We need to end the violence. And there's going to be a series. They've been going out there on Mondays, going to Sycamore Square and being in community. Miss Leslie May, she's an amazing counselor, and she's been offering her services there. And yeah, let's rally up together, because the pain and trauma and violence, you know, the last thing that needs to happen is further criminalizing folks for selling some dro or what, like that's the last thing. But then violence is taking over and families aren't really living in peace, and that's what we all deserve. We all deserve to live in peace, and it's getting disrupted. So yeah, let's see.
Are we still chatting about what's happening, what's coming up?
Yeah, if there's anything at all, you know, bring it on.
Yeah, I got a lot. I know a lot of you all know that I've been really concerned and communicating about what's happening in Palestine, now expanded into Lebanon, with Iran now striking into Israel. And so there will be an action on Saturday that I will be a part of. It's in San Francisco. I will send out the flyer to Carlos. Hopefully he can post it on the East County Voices page. And if you're against war, if you're someone that believes in peace and you don't want a global war with Iran, the U.S., Israel, all the other countries that are contributing, you're welcome to come out and join this protest to say no to war, which is something that I believe in and I'm a part of on a regular basis. And again, I know a lot of you know me and that I work with KPFA Radio. So check out First Voice Media on Facebook, where I post a lot of my videos from the actions I go out to, including the ILWU actions I've been recording, the no war, the ceasefire actions I've been attending for Gaza and Palestine, now again expanding to Lebanon, are all on First Voice Media. A lot of PD Perez recently happening. So please, I'll check that out. And that's happening on Saturday. I believe it's 2 p.m. in San Francisco, and I'll send the flyer to the crew. Also, quick reminder, November 2nd, it's my cousin Timmy's memorial walk. Those of you that know my cousin Timmy, unfortunately, was a victim of racial injustice. He was lynched, actually, and found hanging in a tree in Bart in Concord, California in 1985. You can find out more information about what happened to Timmy on Timmy's Facebook page that I helped create, which is Reopen the Case of Timothy Charles Lee on Facebook. Reopen the Case of Timothy Charles Lee. I'm a little behind on organizing this year's walk, but this year's walk will go on November 2nd. I'm going to stick to the same time frame that we have been. We're going to gather at 3 at the Rainbow Community Center parking lot and probably launch out on our walk around 4 p.m. after a brief opening ceremony where we can all introduce ourselves to each other at the Rainbow Community Center parking lot. And then hopefully with the help of Miss Patty, I know I've been mentioning it to you lately, we could all distribute flyers to people as we walk through the Todos Santos Plaza on Saturday, November 2nd. And this is going to be our first Saturday. So I'm imagining more people will be on the streets. And reading last year's articles, a lot of people found out about Timmy through the informational flyers we handed out on the walk. And hopefully, as Queenie mentioned for Malad, they had the Aztec dancers. Again, I'm a little behind. I'm fighting for Palestine. I'm fighting for us. I'm here now at my grandma's house where I'm on my phone, who's in hospice care now. So I'm helping do that. And so my time has been really stretched out. And I'm still recording these press conferences. I seen Carlos today. I was out there yesterday. All my recordings are on First Voice Media. So I've just been a little stretched thin. And to tell you the truth, like Queenie said before, we're flipping tired. We're tired. We're tired. My cousin's case was 1985. I'm trying to pick up where my cousin's family, his immediate brothers and sisters, they're all gone. They all died early deaths from the tragedy and trauma that their lives faced with their brother being lynched. My last one to go, Tammy, Timmy's sister, was the mega fighter for Timmy. She was devastated that people had given up on his fight. And she became also addicted and struggled with life and life issues. And Timmy's death haunted her through the end of her days. And she died in her early 50s or late 40s, I believe. So I'm picking up that fight and trying to get justice for Timmy. If he was killed in 1985 at 23 years old, thinking that perhaps the people that killed him may be around his age, they may be in their late 60s or early 70s now, chilling out in Concord, rocking their grandbaby on their knee, talking about the good old days and who they're going to vote for this year, living their lives out when my cousin Tammy, Timmy, and Tommy all are gone from the struggles of their lives way before me. And I can pass that on to all my dad's siblings who he had 7. He has one sibling left. My dad is just about to turn 80, and he's the oldest sibling of the group. All of them have died, mostly before they reached their 60s. And this is generational trauma
Broken
through
heart.
the genocide of California Indians, which my dad's family was. I lost one brother, uncle in Vietnam, one to health issues, and then my aunts all suffered from diabetes. They were all multiple amputees of their legs and their fingers, used wheelchairs and prosthetics to get around. Anyways, I feel like I'm going on and on now, but
Frank, we got you. We got you. Look, don't worry about the prints. We got the prints. We're gonna have chairs. We're gonna
going back to my cousin Timmy, it's coming up November 2nd. I hope you all can join me in Concord. We're trying to get up to 500 on Timmy's change.org petition. If you search Timothy Charles Lee on change.org, spread that around. We're trying to get to 500. We're at 420 something. And let's do it big for Timmy this year to try to get justice for him. And again, I heard Kat Brooks say the other day, I heard her name mentioned a lot. We're never going to get justice. What we're looking for is accountability.
That's right.
We're looking for accountability for the people.
We can't heal without accountability.
The people that did this, if they're never held accountable and live their life out with the good old days, change don't happen. We need people to be held accountable. And that goes across the spectrum to our conversations tonight. Palestine, Antioch police, Timmy's case, Malad, everything we've been talking about. It boils down that democracy don't work.
Board of Supervisors.
The Board of Supervisors. Democracy don't work without accountability. And we're trying to be a democracy. People, including our elected officials, high and low, need to be held accountable for the choices that they make, and law enforcement as well as us as human beings, as individuals.
And for the event on, beautifully said, Frank, the Friday, it's a viewing. There's a viewing of the Confused War documentary, and it's a training for the residents on violence prevention strategies. Knowledge is power. Like, I'm a lifetime learner. I encourage everyone to just be present and just keep learning, keep connecting, and any little tools that we can add to our little toolkit just to be better people and better for our community. So with that, we got 2 minutes. Thank you, Frank. Frank, we need to have another session and talk about Palestine. One of my homegirls, veteran sister, Ukrainian immigrant, but a badass army veteran. She went out to Ukraine during, she went out there, and she's back, and she's got a lot to say about the atrocities happening on the people of Palestine. And I would love for y'all to have a conversation. She said she's down to join and talk, and
Definitely. And I'll also throw one more thing out there. You all know Jose Cordon and his Poetry Month. Right now, coming up this weekend, as I mentioned, October 5th and 6th, we're going to be marking the 1 year of the what the Palestinians called Al-Aqsa flood, and that is their rebellion against Israel, which was October 7th, which was not the beginning, but we're going to be marking 1 year of the retaliation and the genocide. And Jose Cordon has dedicated the October Poetry Month to Palestine. So I'm helping organize that with Jose, and we're going to meet next week. So I encourage you all to come out, because we're going to have some vendors and some booths that are going to be educational about what's really happening on the ground in Gaza. And we're hoping to bring an organization called Project Hope for Palestine that helps provide food and basic necessities to people that are actually starving right now in Gaza. So that would be my friend Iyas Sartawi. He's part of the Contra Costa Coalition for Palestine, which I'm a part of. And so I'm looking forward to everybody that supports Jose Cordon and the Poetry Month to check out the October version, which, I asked him, I said, do you want to dedicate this to Dias de los Muertos or Halloween, being October? I don't want to try to, ask you to do something you don't want to do. He said, you know what, Frank, let's do this for Palestine and for what's happening, because as a California Indian, I have seen what attempted genocide has done to my dad and his people. And I recently took a training session with the Smithsonian Institute about the genocide of California Indians. And the more I've learned about what happened to my dad's people and the relation I see now to what's happening in Gaza and Palestine. And I think if more people knew what was really happening, not only would they be against it, but they would say something about it. Because my frustration with our council lies in personal conversations that we'd have with the Palestinian community, with our elected officials in Zoom meetings and personal meetings. But end results nothing for a ceasefire, which means nothing. A ceasefire resolution is only symbolic. But when you believe personally that something's wrong and you have a platform such as we do and the mayor, the city council does, they need to use that platform to say that they believe it's wrong, because that's integrity, doing what is right regardless of the consequences. And if we don't speak out, we can see now that we haven't spoke out enough, and now they're moving into Lebanon and they're devastating people there. How far will they go? And if they're going to let that happen with the backing of our tax dollars to bomb and kill these dark brown people or people of color, whatever shade they are over there, they're not going to hesitate to do it to us here when the time comes, because they're funding this and they're backing it. So we need to be careful and keep an eye out what's happening there.
Definitely keep talking about it. And before we cut out, also rest in paradise to Elijah Scales, who was shot here in Antioch, and he was shot September 2nd, and he died 4 days later. So this is the violence that's affecting the families in our community. The victims are real, and he was laid to rest today. We're going to hit Malad Baldwin's, I believe it's going to be his third birthday, October 9th. October 11th, we got the end of the month. And then, y'all, if any last thoughts, maybe some shout outs to the ILWU Local 6.
Hey, shout out to Angel. If you guys met Angel out there, the ILWU Local 6, he just recently lost his uncle, Ernie Peters Longwalker, who was a Native American that preached black and brown unity, black and red unity. And you could search Ernie Peters Longwalker on YouTube and see that he spoke at the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March. And he said, we are the majority, and that if we unite and work together, we won't have to ask for our rights, because we can lift a finger and our rights will be given to us. So shout out to Angel, the Local 6, and to Ernie Longwalker, who was a medicine man who helped lead sweat lodges, the AIM movement, and he walked if you don't know the longest walk, they walked from San Francisco to DC. So he was a long walker, fighting for indigenous rights, and he recently transitioned to the spirit world. And he was the uncle to one of our Local 6 ILWU folks out there on the picket line every day. He saw my Native American shirts and he told me, what are you doing with AIM? He goes, my uncle is Chief Longwalker. And I was like, well, tell me about him. And so he told me the story. And so I did a shout out to him on my show last week. If you haven't been tuning in, I'm also working on Bay Native Circle, 7 p.m. on Wednesdays on KPFA. So Bay Native Circle, where we cover Native American issues. And I did a shout out to Longwalker there with a clip of his speech to the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March.
That's beautiful.
Right.
Mr.
I've been
Paul?
long-winded. Sorry, y'all.
No, it's good. That's what we're here for it.
Yeah. So that's it. What do we got next week?
What do we got next week? Let's keep talking guaranteed income. Because these
Right.
people, our communities are getting overworked and underpaid. And if there's funding to help these families, man, let's get it. It's right there. We just need to have the right leadership and people to believe in this.
And I'll throw it out there now that it'd be great getting close to Timmy's event if we could do an in-depth thing about Timmy before the November 2nd event. So you could do the math. I think Friday is the 25th, maybe the 24th, or getting around there would be great to check in on Timmy.
The 24th. Done.
And we'll learn more about my cousin Timmy and what we're trying to do. I feel like we're the last chance for Timmy, our generation here. We could always carry his name on in the fight for him, but if we're going to get these people held accountable, which is our form of justice, we're the ones that got to do it. And I'm going to try to do whatever I can to get that to happen.
Look, we can get a list of all the officers that were there from that day in that department that year.
It's going to be the 23rd.
We can do our own investigations if the city is not going to do it. Watch.
Right. It's going to be the 23rd Wednesday, right? Because we're switching.
No, it'll still be because we're going to switch in November. So the 24th of October, that's going to be the Thursday. And then that Friday.
We were switching in 2 weeks.
I thought November. Oh, okay, but we could do 2 weeks. That's fine. It's cool.
Well, we'll leave it to the future. Keep an eye out for our event for Timmy. But I tell you, Timmy's event will be November 2nd, Rainbow Community Center, gathering at 3 p.m. And I hope that a lot of you will come since it's a Saturday. And we'll fight for justice, for accountability. Let's put it to accountability now. Thank you, Cap Brooks, for bringing that. You know, justice is not going to come for our lost loved ones, but accountability for the people that took their lives or abused will be our form of justice.
Yeah. Right. Nicole, give us a last one for our audience and our community.
The only thing I can think of right now is tomorrow, if anyone can make it out there in the morning to support ILWU Local 6, because they will spend the day trying to get things hammered out. So Christian made it really clear that that is the mission for tomorrow.
What time you talking?
By 10 o'clock. I think they'll be out there. They're going to come a little early, but by 10 o'clock. So they can.
I'm going to go early tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Coffee and donuts.
Sounds
good. I'll probably meet you out there, Frank. So
I'm going to try to go around 7:30. I'm here at my grandma's now, and I leave here about 6:30. And I go home and do my little bit of morning chores, and then I could probably, put off a few and head up early to 7:30. If things aren't happening, I'll go home, do my chores, and come back. But I'll be out there probably about 7:30, 8.
Yeah, no, you don't need to go that early. No. Like 9:45, 10 o'clock.
Oh, so around shift change.
Yeah, shift change.
So they start up around 3, and they have a shift from 3 to 10, and then a new crew at 10 to 5. So they're probably going to do a little something around shift change, it sounds like. All right, well, let's rearrange that. I'll go do my morning chores, and I'll have my coffee, and I'll see you all up there about 9 o'clock. How's that, 9:30?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there about 9:30.
Sounds good. I may be there in spirit. We'll see.
Oh, my God. Tomorrow's my busy workday, so I'll reconfirm that, but I'll do my best. I'm so busy tomorrow. I'm so busy. Tomorrow's my show, Full Circle on Friday, 7 p.m. on KPFA. I'm going to try to play a little bit of today's press conference, a little bit of yesterday's press conference when they got the Just Cause.
Don't forget to fix the sound. Don't forget, because Steve was telling me he was listening to it and it cut off that Shagoofa. So don't forget to fix the sound.
Okay. I think it's back.
Okay.
And I'm also going to get an update on the action that's going to be happening in San Francisco for Palestine and Lebanon to kick off my show tomorrow. So yeah, tune in tomorrow. We'll get an update on everything that's happening here in the Antioch with the city council, and also what's going to happen on the streets on Saturday in San Francisco. If you're asking for peace in the Middle East.
Love it.
That's right. Well, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being on the show. We'll be back next Thursday, 8 p.m. Almost said 7. 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And
We'll be switching to Wednesdays after, like you said. You're right.
Switching to Wednesdays. And
switching to Wednesdays permanently?
Yeah.
Okay.
It looks like
Gotta watch out because that's my Bay Native Circle day.
In the evenings?
Bay Native Circle is also on 7 p.m.s on KPFA 94.1 FM. And just yesterday, I interviewed the editor-in-chief of the News of Native Californians and also Heyday Books Roundhouse, where they produce and publish Native writing and books. And they're having a 50th anniversary coming up for their publishing company.
That's what's up.
Okay.
So yeah, check it out. If you ever want to hear my Bay Native Circle work, you can go to kpfa.org, hit the archive button, and search for Wednesdays at 7 p.m. or just search Bay Native Circle Frank Sterling on the internet, and hopefully it'll take you to KPFA's archives. But it's Wednesdays at 7. I'm a rotating host.
Okay, cool. So it'll work. Okay.
Yep, 7
It'll be
o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, you can check out Franklin and then get a double dose.
That's right.
Love
So
it.
anyways, thank you all for tuning in. Peace, God bless, and we'll see you next time.
Night.
Good night.
Let's hear that beat.